Hello everyone, welcome you all to the session of Banking and Financial Services class. I am Impa Bilyappa, Associate Professor, Department of Management Sciences, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. We have already started Unit 3 and we have done various concepts of merchant banking. In the previous class, I had done related to the services of merchant banker. What are the different kinds of services which he offers to the general or to the corporate sector. In today's class, we will be continuing the services offered and also we will be learning what is issue pricing and what are the different kinds of pricing which can be used in issue pricing. So, in our previous class when we discussed related to the services offered, we learnt about the project counseling and corporate counseling where we dealt with how should a project report be prepared, what are the finances required, how is the costing, how should you do the promotion of a project, we learned that. And we learned the loan syndication, how you can avail loans, the corporate sector, how they can avail loans for the purpose of business. Then we discussed the portfolio management. Portfolio management is where the different kinds of investment on different securities or bonds and all, how the investment should be made and how you should manage it in order to get profit and reduce your risk. And then you have your capital restructuring services. Capital restructuring services is to have a balance between how you should keep your debt and equity, how you should balance your debt and equity. So, where are the repercussions of what are the different repercussions of having high debt and low equity or vice versa. Then we discussed the arranging of working capital finance. Arranging of working capital finance, some of the corporate sectors, they feel difficulty in arranging even the day-to-day expenses. That's nothing but the working capital. So, how you can avail these day-to-day finance, that the merchant banker helps you out on this. Okay. Then you have your market survey and forecasting. Okay. Before launching any kind of products or services, you need to do a market survey and also you need to forecast about its demand, like what is the current demand and how would it help in manufacturing the units according to the supply. Okay. According to the demand, you need to manufacture you have to supply the products. Okay. Then you have estimating the amount of funds required. Yes, estimating the amounts of funds required is where any kind of mergers or takeovers or any event which is happening, you need certain funds for its expenses, and for that you need to estimate what are the amount or fund which is required. That estimating will also be done by the merchant bankers. Then you have your raising funds from capital market. You have different capital market instruments like equity shares, preference shares, debentures, bonds. You have different instruments like this, and merchant bankers will help you out in guiding and advising the corporate people as to which tool or which instrument would be better suitable for that particular situation at that point of time for that particular industry. Okay. Then you have OTC market operations. OTC market operations is over the counter market operations which would help you help the small investors to trade out. Okay. Then you have technology tie-ups. So, if any of the organization or corporate body is looking for a technology tie-up, merchant bankers will help you in bringing the buyer and seller together. And then you have fixed deposit management. Yes, if corporate sector is looking for any fixed deposit management where they can rely on and get a higher interest rate, that kind of service is also provided by the merchant bankers. And then you have marketing and underwriting of the new issue. I have previously told, say normally what happens is whenever it is a new issue, people hesitate to buy that particular company's shares. So, what you need to do, you need a backup from a reputed or a goodwill company. So, these merchant bankers will promote your shares, will market your shares, and also they assume themselves as underwriters. Underwriters is where in case of undersubscription, you're going to assume as an underwriter where you promise to take the unsubscribed shares. So that role is also taken by the merchant bankers. And then you have the management of customer security. Yes, customer security is foremost important. They keep it secret and they maintain the confidentiality. And then you have factoring. Yes, factoring services is also provided by the merchant bankers. Factoring is where if you are selling, if any of the corporate unit, if it is selling on the basis of credit, then it's very, very difficult for them to go and get their money, that is collection. Okay, and collection of these debts are done by the merchant bankers, which is coined as factoring, and this is done for the purpose of commission. Okay, then you have investment banking and insurance services. So these are the different services which previously in our previous class only we have already discussed. So in today's class I had started in my previous class about discussing the bills discounting and acceptance of credit, but we couldn't complete it due to the time schedule. But now I'll be revising it once again and going further. Okay, so the next service offered is bills discounting and acceptance of credit. So bills discounting and acceptance of credit. So many a times I've told you what do you mean by bills discounting. Even when we discuss about the functions of the banks, I have explained what is bills discounting. So such service is recognized under the merchant banker when the Banking Commission 1972 Act in his report they had mentioned about it. They had recommended the establishment of acceptance and discounting houses in India, okay, for the purpose of discounting and accepting of the bills. So what is this bills of exchange? Bills of exchange is where there is a buyer and the seller. The buyer is going to buy the goods from the seller, but the buyer doesn't have money and he doesn't have money to pay to the seller. So what he does, he draws a bill, he approaches his bank and draws the bill in favor of the seller and gives him the bill. It might be 3 months bill or 1 month bill or 2 months bill depending on the their agreement. Okay. Once the bill is given to the seller, now the seller he can hold the bill for 3 months until the buyer makes a payment, or if he needs immediate cash for the business, then he can go to the bank and then he can discount the bill. So bank, whatever discounting of bill means, if it is a 10,000 rupees bill, then it might be discounted for 9,500. So whatever the difference of 500 rupees is there, that will act as a discount rate. Okay, so that is discounting of bills. So they can do that. So where lenders have the knowledge of money and they have the knowledge of credit worthiness of the drawer. Okay, so what are the functions? So first, if you are going to accept such a kind of service, then first one, you have to find out about the reputation and financial standing of the acceptor. So if you are willing to accept the bill, then you should be able to know that his reputation is good and is able to pay back the amount. Okay. Then the existence of the system, like collection of information on borrowers. On the borrowers you need to collect the information. If you do these two kinds of activities, then it is known that yes, the bills collection can be easy. So commercial banks can undertake this acceptance and discounting of bills because they're a kind of experts and they have a broad network of branches. So it is very easy for them to get the information and do the bills discounting and acceptance of credit. So for this they need to formulate the policies, procedures for the efficient service providing related to bills discounting and acceptance of credit. Okay. Next services under this head, you have lease financing. Okay. What do you mean by lease financing? Lease, we know the term what is lease. A lease is a contract between the owner of an asset, which we normally call as a lessor, and the user of the asset, which we normally call as a lessee. So whenever they agree with the common terms that the lessor gives the right to the lessee in order to use the asset for an agreed period of time for a certain consideration. So that is called as lease rental. In detail you want to know about it, then we'll again discuss the same concept in unit 4. So this is just like an intro. Okay. So merchant bankers, they provide these leasing and financing facilities to their customers. These leasing arrangements provide the firm to use and control over an asset without buying or owning the same. Like without owning an asset or buying an asset, you get the right to use the asset for a purpose of rent. To give a simple example, how do you lease a home? Okay, how do you lease a house? That is a perfect example for the lease financing. Okay, if you want to lease a house, then you need to pay the lease rentals, and until that period, like 3 years lease, 5 years lease, you be in that house and you don't pay any money to them. Only lease amount and lump sum is being paid at the beginning, and once you leave it, the lease amount is returned, and that's it. Okay, so that's a perfect example for this. So this lease contract, it can be paid at the beginning. In the case of a house, we normally pay it at the beginning. Okay, so here it depends on the contract. So it can be paid in the beginning, at the end of the month, quarter, half yearly or yearly. So anywhere during this period you can pay the lease rentals, and you have certain terms and conditions in the agreement in order to in pertaining to the lease finance. Okay, and these lease rentals, normally they have long term lease contracts. No, short term are avoided, long term lease contract, and the lease is generally given on an option of buying or renewing the lease. So either at the end of the lease period, either they get an option of buying or they get an option of further leasing it, renewing the lease. Okay, they can continue there itself. So these clients, where they provide finance for the purpose of acquisition of assets taken on lease. So what do the merchant bankers do? They give finance for the purpose of assets to be bought. Okay. Next kind of services is venture capital services. The services, they're having a wide range of services. Okay. So next services is venture capital. Venture capital, about venture capital you know very well because you have learnt in your AD. Okay, that is entrepreneurship development. Here also we will be just brushing on that as a part of the merchant banking services. So what do you mean by the venture capital? For the entrepreneurs who lack capital but have an innovative idea, they get this venture capital. So capital fund may be provided for unproven ideas or products with technology oriented or any kind of startups. So it is in the form of equity financing, especially designed for funding high risky and high rewarding projects. So venture capitalists, they normally invest in such kind of ventures where the risk should be high but the return should also be high. It is like 50-50. If you click, then it is high bonus you get, huge returns you get, but if the business fails, it is okay, it is going to downroad your financial position. Okay. So next kind of services is public deposit. So public deposits is where companies are raising finance in the way of public deposits. So they can raise funds using the using public for the purpose of business. So there are specialist services for this. For example, they need advisory services also, like in issues like mergers, amalgamations, takeovers, tax matters, recruitment of any kind of executives, cost and management audits. All these areas, for all these areas, the corporate needs advisors, and these advisors or marketing services is provided by the merchant bankers. So they have also started making up the bought out deals for the shares and debentures. What are bought out deals? That I have told you in an investment management class. So again, I will not extend it further about the bought out deals. Okay, so and they have also like money market, they can switch over, they can increase with the change of money market instrument, they can increase their activities with the change over to the money market instruments, and there are very banks who provide these specialized services like accepting the ICICI, Canara Bank, Gridales Bank, Punjab National Bank. These are the different banks which normally provide such kind of services. These three only will take an example and let's discuss. For example, you have Gridales Bank, where it renders a specialized services with pertaining to the individual requirements. So as I've told, merchant bankers always provide customized services. So customized services means each customer's preferences, demands and their needs will be different. So according to that, they are going to design the services. So what is there in the Grindales Bank? Let's see. So advise and they advise and assist in the negotiable terms and conditions in terms of acquisitions, mergers and takeovers, as I've said. Another one is expert advice on valuation of amount of purchase consideration. So once they give advice on the negotiation, so how much should be paid, how much should be received, such kind of advice also been given on the valuation of purchase consideration. That's there. Then expanding legal document process. So normally when such kind of process are all there, you need the legal advice. This legal advice is provided by the merchant bankers, and also you need approval of various agencies like SEBI, might be the stock exchanges. You need approval of those. That is also driven by the taken by the merchant bankers. Okay, and also they carry out the management audits to identify the strength and weakness of any corporate unit. So it is always better, even as a human being or else as a corporate unit, you always have to analyze the strengths and weakness, so you can understand on which areas we need to concentrate in order to improve them. Okay, so and assist in the form of in formulating the guidelines and plans for the future growth. So whatever plans and future growth are there, they are going to assist them how it should be developed in future. Okay, this is of the Grindales Bank. And now next is Canara Bank. Canara Bank also gives the specialized services, but how different it is from the other bank, let's see. Okay, Canara Bank is like the first activity, as I said, they need to analyze the strength and weaknesses of the financial and its financial implications, and they have to decide on the suitable form of organization. So which is the best or suitable form of organization. Then is to assist in preparing the proposal, draft, legal documentation. They need to take the approval from various authorities. They need to coordinate with the solicitors, accountants, valuators and other professionals involved in mergers and amalgamations. So all these are the different subsidiary activities which they are going to, or specialized activities which they are going to which is going to be provided by the merchant bankers. Okay. The next is Punjab National Bank. These are all the examples, same kind of services, how it differs. Okay. They are going to also assess the pros and cons, which is nothing but the strength and weaknesses of the financial restructuring, mergers and amalgamation. Okay. They also assist in preparing and formulating the schemes for financial restructuring. So if you are planning for a financial restructuring of the corporate sector, of your corporate sector, then you can avail the services of merchant bankers who will help you in preparing and formulating of the schemes. And then you have the consent of shareholders. They need to obtain the consent of shareholders, depositors, creditors, government and any other authorities related. They need to take the approval of them, I said, no. So you need to take the approval of the important authorities. The next is monitoring implementation of schemes, like any scheme which has been planned and decided, those schemes need to be implemented. And how do you implement it? You can implement on the basis of its need and requirement, and see, monitor that its implementation is rightly done. Okay. So next is issue management. So probably this is the last of all the services. And what do you mean by issue management? So issue management is an important concept. So I'll explain the function, and later on in my next class, that is next video, we'll discuss about the issue management as a whole. What happens during pre-issue management and what happens during and post-issue management. What is the role of a merchant banker in issue management? For that, this is just an introduction and one of the important services provided by the merchant bankers. Okay. So when we come to the issue management, so here whenever a company is formed, when it's a new company or an existing company, you need someone for the backup who will help you out with the legal procedure, who will help you out in getting finance. So if you are relying on the public finance, then you have to issue shares. If you are a public company and your funds are relied on the public fund, then you need to make the issue of what? Shares or debentures. So normally in the past the functions of merchant bankers were only limited to the management of new issue or public issue or any corporate securities, but now it is way more extended, not only to the newly formed companies, existing companies and also foreign companies in dilution or setting up the equity is under the FERA. They also come under the category of the services of merchant banking. Okay. So, in this capacity, if you have to say that the act of a sponsor to the issue, the act as a sponsor to the issue, they have to obtain the consent of controller of capital issues. So, before making an issue, you need to obtain the approval or consent of the controller of capital issues and also provide a number of other services to ensure that the success of your new issue is done properly. That is, the marketing of the securities is done properly. Services, if you have to say, from the beginning till the end of the issue, merchant banker will be a part of it. So, for example, first one, preparation of prospectus. Okay. So, when you have when you see the preparation of prospectus itself is one concept, okay, where you will learn what is a prospectus and what are the different components in the prospectus. That probably Manoj sir will do it. Okay. Then you have a preparation of a plan and budget to estimate the total expenditure of a issue. So, you need to appoint new people to the organization who might be a registrar, lead manager, advertising agents, financial institutions. You need all a tie-up of this and you need to appoint new people, and for all these you need money. You have certain expenses which should be expended. So, these expenses, budgeting it, okay, preparing a plan for the pooling of funds, all these the merchant banker will help you out in estimating the overall expenditure. And also I have already told, if it is preparation of you need to, for the controller of capital issues, you need to prepare an application and provide assistance in obtaining his consent. Okay, if you want to get the approval of consent, then you have your preparation of application in such a manner that seeing that only he should be able to approve your issue. Okay. Then you have a selection of institutional and brokers, underwriters and underwriting agreements. So, merchant banker will be a part in selecting the financial institutions, selecting the brokers, where the stock and brokering houses, where the stock exchanges needs to be listed, underwriters and framing the agreement for the underwriting procedure. Everything will be done by the merchant banker. And also the appointing of registrar, brokers, bankers to the issue. Bankers are the people who normally collect the applications from the general public. Okay. And then advertising and arranging for the publicity agencies. See, unless you advertise, definitely you will not get the applications as required to your issue. Okay. To make the issue successful, you need to propagate properly, advertise properly, market properly. Okay. And these advertising agencies' role is for post and pre both. It is not only pre, their role is also for post issue management. Okay. Then selection of issue houses. Yes, selection of issue house is where they help you out in issuing the shares, certificates, warrants, dividends and all. They help you out in that process. They are the issue houses, that is selecting which issue house would be better or best suitable for such kind of a corporate unit. Each individual it differs, so we cannot generalize the services. And before you all do that, you need to list the company in any of the stock exchange. So, there are in India, like there are different stock exchanges, BSE, NSE. So, according to the requirement, you can list your company in these stock exchanges. Okay. So, if you want to list the company in stock exchanges, you need to pay the listing requirements. And these listing requirements will be the merchant bankers will help you to fulfill these listing requirements. Okay. Other than this, they act as a coordinator with the underwriter, along with the underwriting activities. Underwriter, someone else, if they are assuming the role of underwriter, the merchant bankers will act as a coordinator, and then they, whatever bank's issue is there, they are going to manage that. Okay. They advise the clients whether to go for a fresh issue or an additional issue or a bonus issue or a rights issue. So, these are the different kinds of issues. So, bonus issue and right issue, I have told you the difference also. So, right issue is for the existing shareholders with a discounted or concession share price. Bonus issue, only the shares are given, there is no money being collected, only the shares are given as an extra free, okay, to the shareholders. So, whether it should be an additional issue, whether it should be a fresh issue or a bonus issue or a rights issue, they are going to, the merchant bankers are going to help the corporate unit in order to decide that. And also when it comes, not only shares we deal about, if it is about the debentures also, they are going to advise what type of debenture, like whether it should be convertible, non-convertible, redeemable, non-redeemable, whether it should be linked to preference or whether it should be linked to equity if it's convertible. Then that's all decisions the merchant banker is going to help out. And along with it, they also take decisions on the size of issue, like how much should be should an issue be, whether it should be 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 1 crore. What is the size of the issue, and also the timing of the issue. See, timing of the issue is very important. If any major company apart from yours is going to make an issue in that nearby period, then people would rush applying there. There would be no demand for your applications. So, you have to see the right timing for the purpose of depending on the market condition and like depending on the press coverage and underwriting support from the brokers or other institutions. All these are the parameters or factors which influence your size and timing of public issue. So, if you want to make the right size of public issue at the right time, it's better you take the advice from the merchant bankers, keeping all the parameters like what is the in trend, what are the press covering, which company are in boom or which company is in limelight, thinking all that they can take the right decision. Okay. So, these are all certain services which are offered by the merchant bankers. So, I have told you, they have a wide range of services. Here I have listed few of them, and it may still be extended to minute services offered, but I have almost generalized and compiled it in 2 classes. Okay. Let us go to the next one, which is issue pricing. Issue management comes first, where we deal with the pre-issue and post-issue. But as you all know about the issue management, we have also read it in our investment management, the other subject of finance. The complete issue management is dealt in your unit 1 in investment management. All the finance subjects are interlinked. So, as you are very well aware of it, so what are the different guidelines related to while making a public issue related to pricing. So, you know about SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, which was in June 1992. They opened the capital market for pricing of the issue. So, earlier that kind of concept was not there, only fixed pricing was there, but now they have made it free pricing. Okay. So, pricing of issue can be done by companies themselves. There is no one external body which is required in order to do the pricing. The company themselves can do in consultation with the merchant bankers. So, they need to consult the merchant bankers as to how much should be the price of a share. They can decide, and then they can fix up. So, if you want, you can fix up the prices low or high, which we normally call it as premium and discount. So, if if the premium is too low, then the issue might be oversubscribed. The premium or the prices, if they are too high, then there are chances of undersubscription. So, if you keep the prices high, then chances of undersubscription. If you keep your prices low, then chances of oversubscription. So, such kind of dilemma what it is there, that the merchant banker help you to resolve. So deciding this premium or at par or at discount, you have different factors which influences. The factors which influences the issue pricing are divided into qualitative factors and quantitative factors. Okay. So if you have to say qualitative factors are like a track record of the promoters, okay, promoters track record, or a competitive advantage, the competitive advantage of the companies, like whether the company is good, how is the record of the company, how it is competing with other companies, and what is the best use of the business opportunities, how it is making the growth of the company. So these are all qualitative, you can not really measure in terms of numbers. Okay. Or else if you say quantitative factors, this might include the earning per share, book value, average market price for 2 to 3 years you consider and compile, or a dividend payment record, or earning ratio, or financial future prospects. These are all measurable. So you can say how much is the earning per share, you can calculate and tell, book value of the share, or average market price, what is the average market price from 2 to 3 years, how is it trending on, that you can give the information, right. So that is the quantitative factor. So these quantitative and qualitative factors will influence the issue pricing. And if you want to fix the price at the premium, then you need to follow the guidelines as per the controller of issue capital. I said no, you have to get the approval of the controller of capital issue, and if you need to fix up the price at the premium, then you need to take the consent of the controller of capital issues. So then they will say whether to issue or not. So there are 3 types: at par, at premium, and at discount. So at par means where you are going to issue at the same price, like 100 rupees, that is the par, 100 or 1000, whatever price you fix, that is at par. Then you can issue higher than 100, like 120, 115, 112, like that you can range, that is at premium. If it is less than that, like 98, 95, 90, then it is at discount. So which companies can issue at premium, which companies can issue at discount, which companies can issue at par? The companies which are having good track record, they can make an issue at premium. Okay. If they have consistent profitability for 2 to 3 years, or if it's an existing company, if they give good dividends, and if they have 5 years good profitability track record, and from the past 3 years if they are giving good dividend, these are all the companies which can issue their shares at premium. Okay. Premium means it is like you get an added advantage depending upon your goodwill and reputation. So for example, the blue chip companies, it might be Reliance, it might be Infosys, these are all the blue chip companies, they normally issue their shares at premium. Okay. And if it is at discount, if companies are new, they are budding companies, they do not have any kind of backup, they do not have any subsidiary existing companies, they do not have subsidiary companies, if such kind of scenario is there, then you make an issue at discount. You are confident enough that if your price is fixed at the right amount and people will subscribe for it, then you make an issue at par. So these are the 3 ways how the pricing can be made, which is one is issuing shares at premium, issuing shares at discount, and issuing shares at par. Okay. And there are 2 different ways of making the issue pricing. Okay. Whenever you fix up the prices, you move to the primary market. We call this as issue management. We do it in primary market. In primary market, there are different ways of pooling of funds or making an fresh issue. So there are 5 ways of making an fresh issue. One is through prospectus, one is through brought out deals, one is through private placement, another one is for book building and private placement. Yeah, private prospectus, private placement, bought out deals, book building, and the fixed price. So these are the different ways through which you make an fresh issue. Okay. So when you make this fresh issue, basically we concentrate on 2 prices. One is the fixed price, another one is the book building. I'll tell you the difference of this is another concept. We'll discuss in another video. But here I'll tell you the meaning of this. What do you mean by fixed pricing and what do you mean by book building? Okay. So whenever we think about pricing of an issue, we normally, because whenever it is bought out deals or private placement, they are about the institutionals like large financial institutions or small financial institutions which are going to fix up the prices. The shares are sold to them. But in case of book building or fixed prices, it is sold to the public. So you have a dilemma whether to make an issue based on the fixed price or book building. Okay. When you say that if the company is issuing on the basis of fixed price is where the securities are offered and allotted. The price is made to announced earlier in advance. The public, that is the people, know what is the price per share, that is fixed price. Okay. Suppose if a company says the shares have been issued at 2000 rupees, one share, they announce it. Okay. This means it is fixed price, means the price is already known that one share is 2000 rupees, and if anyone who wish to buy that particular shares, they have to buy it at 2000 rupees. So demand for these securities offered are known after the closure of the issue. So they have a particular time of issue, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like that they have a time for particular issue. So whenever they make an issue, then they need to know, if they want to know the demand of that particular company's stocks, then can know only on the closure of the issue. So 100% applications are supported by the block amount. There is no changes which is being made. The amount is fixed and it is blocked. And 50% of the shares are offered are reserved for applicants below rupees 2 lakh, and the balance are on higher amount applications. So whatever first 50% it is reserved for 2 lakh applications, and remaining rupees 2 lakh, and remaining is on the higher amount in fixed price issue. The second one in issue pricing is book building. Book building is where 20% price band is offered. Like if it's in 100 rupees share, from 80 to 120 the price band is given. So 20% price band is being provided, where the offered to the issuers, within which they are allowed to bid, and final price is determined by the issuer only after the closure of the bidding. Okay. So they have this price band from 80, just an example, from 80 to 120 the price band varies. You have to buy it according to the quantity demanded. So based on the quantity demanded, they are going to fix. For example, demand for the security is offered and its various prices is available on real time basis, that is on BSE website, or during the period of bidding period, that is during the time of bidding period. It varies. Okay. And the prices are not known in advance. It is known after the bidding is made. It's just like how do you buy from a vegetable vendor. Normally vegetable vendors, they'll say 1 kg if you take, it is 20 rupees. 2 kgs if you buy, then I'll give you at 30 rupees or 35 rupees. So as the quantity increases, the price also decreases. So such kind of concept is there in book building. So 100% applications are supported by the blocked amount, whatever blocked amount is there. 50% of the shares offered are reserved for QIBs, 35% for non-retail, and 15% for retail investors. So this is how the differentiation happens. So this is about the fixed pricing and book building. I'll tell you, I'll not tell you the difference. Okay, I'll tell you the meaning. Fixed price is where you fix up one particular price at the initial stage. It is well known in advance to the investors. Book building, they don't know the price in advance. They start bidding for the shares with a price band of 20%, less or high. So if a company is reputed and good enough, higher bidding. If it is not that comfortable and it's in laws or their management is not good, then it is less. So this is about the issue pricing. Majorly there are two types, fixed price and book building price. Okay, so let's see what we have learned today. To sum it up all, we have our services offered. We continued with the services offered which we had discussed in the previous class, where we discussed about the bills acceptance, discounting of bills, venture capital, lease finance and issue management. So these are the different services we discussed, and also we discussed issue pricing, where they can issue the shares at par, premium or discount, and also two basic methods of issuing the shares, which is book building and fixed price. In our next class, we will discuss about the pre-issue management and post-issue management of shares and debentures, that is about the primary market. Thank you for attending today's class.